Because I've forgotten to do that lately, record button. For those of you who are tuning in today to watch the show, we're going to talk about a new year, a new truth, a new you, 2019, with Andrea Beaman, health coach, chef, and great person to get to know and get her wisdom. Get her wisdom. Okay, it's time to dance. Woohoo! So just post it. Just take it from there. Post it onto your
well, it's not popping up for me. Your page.
At Lillian's radio show.
Place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who have been tuning into the show for the last, I don't know, maybe a day or 7 years, welcome back. But if you are new and you've stumbled upon the show today, then just know I've been waiting for you. This is a place you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friends on Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, today, we're not giving away any books. We're not giving, unless Andrea wants to do something like that, not putting her on the spot, but because she's given away a lot of things. And so today we're going to be talking about how, this whole week has been this theme. I spoke to you guys about this during the week already, and how to keep this new year feeling all year round. But how about this commitment to health? How do we commit to health all year round? So you come to this new year, you listen to the Lillian McDermott radio show to learn a new truth, and then you become a new you. And so yesterday I shared on my show that I saw this, I don't know, no, it wasn't yesterday. I'm losing track of time, but it was a quote that I saw, and it said, "You too can fly, but that cocoon must go." That is an anonymous quote, and I'll claim it. If they don't want it, I'll claim it. So here's the deal. We've got to step out of our comfort zone and not be okay with being sick and tired. Not be okay with that. Embrace health. Not be lack-minded. Be positive about what you want. Be clear about your intention. So, my friend and health coach, author, and chef, Andrea Beaman, has dedicated her whole life, her whole career, to helping people discover fun, beauty, and a delicious taste of healthy food. And as we begin this year, I thought I'd motivate all of us to not just make resolutions, because they don't work. They're 8%, and it's a statistic that's been thrown around so many times. It has not worked. But maybe, perhaps, making a commitment, a declaration, making being aware of what you want for this year, declaring it, making sure that it's in the front of in your mind's eye, in the front of everything that you look at, so it'll keep you committed to your health. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I'm so grateful that Andrea Beaman is back to do just that. Welcome, Andrea. Happy New Year.
Good morning, Lillian. Always a pleasure seeing your bright, sunshiny face.
You're so sweet. Right back at you, girlfriend. So for people that are tuning in for the first time, Andrea, you've been on my show for, I don't know, a year or two?
Oh,
I have no idea.
Longer, yeah.
Yeah. You've been on sharing your wisdom. And so share a little bit about your background and what led you to your new truth.
Oh, well, I am a natural food chef, a holistic health coach, and an herbalist, and a fabulous human being. I always have to add that in.
Yes, you are. And I'll say, yes, you are to that.
And, I came to health and wellness from sickness. I think that's where most people get here, right? They have to be suffering and not feeling good and saying, oh my God, this is it. Let me change. And then the wake up call comes and they either change or they stay stuck. So for me, it came in the form of thyroid disease, and I had a large goiter, and they told me I needed to take radioactive iodine and then be on Synthroid for the rest of my life. And I was like, I don't think so. I think my diet and my lifestyle is pretty crappy. So I changed my diet and my lifestyle. And along that path, the inkling to change the consciousness happened as well, right? To start to look at my human experience in a whole different way. Like, I'm not here to be sick. I'm not here to not enjoy my life, right? I'm here on the planet to have a great human experience.
I love
right?
that.
Yeah, and it may have stemmed from sickness. Sickness was the thing that pushed me over to this side, right? But when I look back and I'm like, wow, I used to drink like 5 cups of coffee a day, and I used to eat Snickers all day long and M&Ms, and I just was not conscious about anything, just shoveling things into my face, my little pie hole. So things change, and I'm happy that they did, because I'm going to be 51 in a month. Wow. And I feel great. I feel really good. Yeah. Like I have energy. My body feels strong. It's a far cry from what it was about 20 years ago.
It's interesting. I always say, I feel great, but is there a better? What can we do to achieve that better, to feel better? Because many of us don't know we can feel better. And so today we are talking with Andrea Beaman about this new year, this new truth, and a new you that is about to come out, but you first must let go of that cocoon. When we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com, join us on Facebook Live to get the off-the-air conversation at Lillian's radio show. And we'll be right here waiting for you. Okay, Andrea, you talked about your goiter. Did you share it with your fans? Did you go?
Yeah, I shared it with my personal page and my professional page.
Awesome. So you figured it out. Good for you. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So here's the thing. You talked about your goiter. I used to work in home health a long time ago as a consultant. And I went over to this assisted living or like independent care. And there was this woman with this goiter that was probably 3 pounds. And it was like part of her neck, part of her face. Oh. And I knew that she could do something about that. And so I asked her about it because, I was concerned. It's like, you see that there. Does she know she has it? You don't know. Should we talk about it? Should we not talk about it? It's like the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And so I said, you can do something about that. After I felt comfortable and she felt comfortable with me, I kind of asked her about it, and she said she had it all her life. And I said, you could do something about it. And do you know what she said to me, Andrea?
What?
But it's my friend.
Ah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Our diseases become our friends. So I wanted to kind of like, as we talk about today, because we have our things that we want to talk about and the things that you want to talk about, but I just wanted to set the tone. And by the way, for those of you who are joining, oh my goodness, already we've got some good morning. Is that Jeff? I can't, is it Jet?
Jetone.
Jetone. Is he one of your fans?
I don't know.
Oh, let's see. Thank you so much. I want to see, for those of you who are watching on Facebook Live, let us know where you're from. I want to see, because this is a worldwide show. So tell all your friends that they can listen live at any time. So let's see go ahead. Is this Jetone is one of your fans?
It's very possible. I don't know.
Very possible. Well, thank you, Jetone, for joining us today. He said detox. Yes.
Oh, yes. Hello, Jetone.
You should know every single person that is your fan.
Well, there's like 50,000 of them.
I know. It's a lot of them. Here we go. So I hope people are tuning in while they're driving on the car and turning in.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where we always learn and grow together. Today's teacher is Andrea Beaman. She is a certified health coach, a author, and a wonderful chef, and one heck of a human being.
That's right. You almost forgot.
Yes. I will never forget. I will always remember that you're one heck of a human being. Okay. So I shared a story about this woman who had a goiter and her whole life, and it was pretty big. And as I asked if she would be willing to kind of like let go of the goiter, she said, but it's my friend. And she felt like this was part of her. And so with that in mind, as we enter this new year and we're embracing health, many of us consider my disease my friend, my topic of conversation, my whatever it is. So let's talk about, how we can shift from embracing our diseases. And I know that we should, that there's a time that we can embrace it, accept what our human condition is with grace and gratitude. But to say, perhaps I can feel better. What can I do to feel better, even with this disease? What would you say to that, Andrea?
Well, I like what you said about this gal. And I also like that she made peace with this thing, because a lot of people,
Yes.
like one of my things for, going into the new year in a better way is to focus on your strengths.
Yes.
Right. So if you wake up every day and you have this large thing, I mean, I've had clients that will come in and they have scarves around their neck and they have a turtleneck up to here because they have not, they're ashamed of the disease, or they're ashamed of something. So the fact that she embraced it and made peace with it is the first step to healing.
Yes.
The first step, because it's an acceptance. So focus on your strengths. So her strength was to look at this thing and say, I can be friends with this. And then maybe one day she'll go even further and say, I've outgrown that friend.
Don't we always? Aren't there friends we do, the seasonal friends that come in and they're friends of yours, and then all of a sudden they're gone. They're gone out of their life just as they came in, just like the seasons.
Yes. Right. So there's that saying, right? There are people that you know for a day or a week, and then there are people that you know for a lifetime or something like that. I know
I know. Yeah. Well, Andrea is not a poet, but one heck of a human being. So some friends do come from a season for a reason.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's it. So, maybe it's time to let that friend go. If you have the opportunity to do it. Not everybody will take the opportunity. So one of the things that people always contact me, and they're concerned about a family member, and they say, oh, this person won't take care of themselves. They won't eat well. They won't do this. They won't do that. And I always tell them they're only going to do that when they feel it internally.
Yes.
To take care of themselves. Right now, you're just nagging them to death, right?
Yes.
So one of the strengths is that you have a deep love for this person. So continue to love that person exactly as they are. And maybe one day they'll say, I think I need to eat better. Or you inspire them by your own changes, right? The best way is, show me, don't tell me.
Yeah.
Right. So if this family member sees that you're feeling good and you're eating well and you have more energy, they may be inspired, and then their internal barometer, is it barometer? Their internal, we'll switch on and say,
we'll accept and embrace that word. It's really a good word.
But it has to come from the inside. So focus on your strengths. What are your strengths?
Absolutely. And I love that. So if people are listening to you today, our listening friends, our viewing friends on Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show, they're listening and saying, I'm very weak. I don't have what it takes. Everybody else has it. That's the voice in our head, the voice in our mind saying, I am not enough. How can we turn that around? What do you suggest that someone do to develop that strength of saying, I am enough. I can figure this out?
Okay, a couple of things. The first is you just brought to mind, I love Bruce Lipton, and I know you know him too and you love him, but he said...
I've thrown his name around a couple times.
Oh my God. He's totally my BFF. I love him.
Yeah.
I would like to adopt him. So he was giving an interview the other day and he says, you know what? He goes, you fake it till you make it. So here's the person that's saying, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't, right? All in the negative ninny. I can't, right? They're setting themselves up for this inability to do anything. So when he says, fake it till you make it, he says, start to retrain the mind. I can do this, even if you feel that you cannot do this, because eventually you'll create a new neural pathway that says, yes, I can. So I remember when I first wanted to quit my job years ago, I was working in corporate America at MTV Networks. And I was scared to death, Lillian, to quit my job. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be homeless. I'll never make a living. All of this fear came. And every day I had that negative thought. And then Louise Hay, I am safe in the universe and all life loves and supports me. That was a new thought that I was implanting. And then 3 months later, one day I'm walking down the street and I'm like, I am safe in the universe and all life loves and supports me. But I didn't believe it for 3 months, right? I didn't believe it. And then one day that new neural pathway was created. I quit my job. And the next day I gave my boss 2 weeks notice, right? So we have to fake it till you make it, until you create that new neural pathway, right? Repetition will create the change.
Absolutely. So can I share my saying, my quote, my thing? Okay.
Yes, of course. It's your radio show.
Wow. Okay. Oh, I forgot that, Andrea. I love you. And you're one great heck of a human being. Okay. So the world says, fake it till you make it. But you and I know better. We know better. And we say, and I know everybody that's listening right now will go, I say, think it till you feel it and then do it.
That's great.
Think it too. Because that, as I've met Louise Hay. I met Bruce Lipton. Bruce has been on my show a couple of times. And I thought I'd throw that in there. It's always good to surround yourself with wonderful people.
Yeah, new friends.
I remember, and I don't know if I shared this story with you, but when I met Louise Hay, and a friend of mine who was her health coach introduced me to her. Someone I interviewed became my friend, just like, you and I have become. And when I was so excited, I never thought I'd meet Louise Hay. She has changed so many lives with this positive affirmation. Wrote her first book at 50, started Hay House at 60. Hey, I still got a long way to go. And she has some big shoes to fill. And she just ascended last year at the age of 90. And so the thing that I learned is when I rehearsed what I had to say. And I said, when Heather brought her over to me and introduced me to her, I knew she wasn't open for much. I could tell it. And so when I introduced myself, or when I said hello to her, I thanked her, and I said, and she was just said thank you back. She didn't say, well, let's start a conversation. So I turned to Heather Dane and I said to Heather, I said, I can't wait to hear your talk. And I hear this voice. It was Louise Hay's voice, because I've heard her in my dreams. And she says, you look forward to it, my dear. And I went, excuse me? And she said, you look forward to it, my dear. And I realized I said, can't. I can't wait. And anytime we use the word, anything we say that's negative prior to the command. So I can't wait means I wait. Don't be late, be late. So the word don't and do not register in the brain, only the command afterwards. And so it instantly, because I learned that from Wayne Dyer, Bruce Lipton, all these wonderful people that are about thought. And so at that moment, I very rarely say, can't wait. Sometimes, my old patterns come out, but I always say, I look forward to it. And I hear Louise Hay, and I was so honored that I was corrected by Louise Hay. And it's remained with me forever. So when somebody said on my show, fake it till you make it, it didn't sit well with me anymore. But think it till you feel it, because first it's a thought, then it's the feeling, and then it's the action, made sense to me. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, Andrea.
Yes, of course.
Long story.
Of course.
For
yes.
a quick introduction of me telling you I met Louise Hay and she corrected me.
You're such a Name dropper. No.
I know, name dropper. Okay, so these are wonderful teachers that have been on my show. And I mean, you are one of those wonderful teachers. So what else can we do as we are embracing this new year, Andrea, when it comes to making this commitment?
Well, one of the biggest things that they could do is just make one small change. So one of the things that happens, like you said, that, people come into the new year and within 2 weeks or however long, 8% of the people actually make those changes because they come in and they're like, I'm going to change my whole life. Right? My whole life is I'm going to be a whole new person.
I'm going to change the world.
Start with one thing. Just start with one thing.
Yeah.
Whether it's slowing down, relaxing, eating well, getting off the crap food, eating whole food, drinking water. Start with one thing, and that'll eventually cascade into a series of things, because you'll say, oh, I could do this one thing. That was easy.
Yeah.
It was easy for me to not smoke cigarettes for one day, right? It was easy for me to not have a candy bar today, right? Just one day, one moment at a time. I know that when I have clients that want to quit smoking on New Year's, I'm like, try not to think about quitting smoking. Just take up meditation. And when they start to take up meditation, which is a form of breathing, which is smoking,
I was going to talk about that. Yeah.
Smoking is intentionally taking in a breath. When they start to take up meditation and breathing, the smoking naturally starts to go away.
Yes. You had mentioned that on the show. And as you were talking about not smoking for a day, but you see, that's the thing, give up smoking. All you're registering is smoke. So if you embrace, like you said, if you embrace that kind of meditation, then now you're focusing on what you want as opposed to what you don't want.
Yeah.
And so when you said that on the show, that people that want to quit smoking, really, they just want to breathe. This is intentional breathing. And I don't know if I mentioned it to you at the time, but here's the thing. No one runs into a building, a building that has fire, a smoke-filled building, to breathe the air. Nobody in their right mind would do that. There's people that actually give their lives to save yours if you're in a burning building. So no one ever runs into a burning building. Why would we do that? We're kind of doing that when we're smoking, right?
Yeah. Well, and we could talk about this. I know we have to go to break, but tobacco is a sacred plant.
Yeah.
It's sacred. And there was a reason why people would smoke tobacco. It would make them very present. But a tobacco today and the tobacco that from the shamans is completely different.
Yeah, well, they've added all these toxins, all these chemicals, and all the things that will get you addicted.
Yes.
Where it's not holy anymore. It's been violated.
That's right.
And we do that to ourselves too. We are holy. And,
I agree.
And with this mentality that I am not worthy. I mean, even in Christianity, as a Catholic, I remember growing up saying, I'm not worthy to receive you, but only say the word and I shall be healed. And I remember that didn't sit well with me either. And so those are the programmings that we get to change this year, hopefully, so that we can have our new you. I've dropped the cocoon. And we're going to continue our conversation with Andrea Beaman worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com and live at Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. That was great. I really loved it when you talked about people who smoke just need to breathe. So for those of you who are watching on Facebook Live, thank you so much for joining us. There are people who have made some comments. Have you been able to read them?
Yes, of course. I see Cher, always inspiring and informative. Well, thank you for getting up so early and joining us here. And then Jetone says, my sweats are not my friend.
You're funny, Jetone. Okay, so and let's see, we have, you said Cher, and then there is Andrea. That's
Andrea Cundiff. She gave us some love.
Who is that? You, Andrea? That's not you, Andrea?
No, that's a different Andrea. That's another.
It's a different Andrea.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this handsome man who just joined us. How are you, Dale?
Oh, doing wonderfully well. Thank you.
Are you traveling?
I'm traveling.
Oh, yeah. Well, you get to join some of this conversation. Andrea, do you want to catch Dale Bellis up for what we've been talking about?
We've been talking about new year, new you, some of the things that we can do for 2019 to make it the best year ever.
Yes. And so for those of you who are watching on Facebook Live, Bellis is the chairman and founder of Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare, we're going to be adding him later on the broadcast, but I thought maybe you can join in the conversation now. So basically, Del, you're talking about how disease can become our friend. And Jatone said that his sweats, was it night sweats?
No, I think they're sweatpants.
Oh, sweatpants. Jatone, you need to talk to us. We need to talk to us. Well, some people become so connected. My disease, my fibromyalgia, my depression, that we just need to detach ourselves from that friend and embrace a new truth. So we talk about a new year, a new truth, a new you, 2019. And so with that in mind, I know that Liberty HealthShare is doing a lot to help improve us in our growth.
Well, it's really a significant part of our value set. That as our bodies are temples, we have a moral and spiritual obligation to maintain our physical health because it is a part of our responsibility. And so we take responsibility, be health conscious, be health focused, and create an entire program for those with particularly diseases that are lifestyle based, to give reinforcement, support, guidance, accountability, to help make those alterations and changes of lifestyle that positively, beneficially impact our health. And it makes sense from a healthcare standpoint. It lowers costs, but we do it because it arises out of our value system.
Absolutely.
It says we really have to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely. And for those of you who are watching, Bellis's Liberty HealthShare is a sponsor of the Lillian McDermott radio show as well. I want to mention First Alternative Care and also Keep Me Safe Organics. Go to whenyouneedafriend.com, click on the icon to get to know more about these sponsors that I just absolutely love, whether they're on the air or off the air. Click on the icons to learn more. And so today we're talking to all these wonderful people. For those of you who are on Facebook Live, I would love to learn where you are listening from. So I want to, because I can't tell if you're not my friend, I can't tell who you are and if you're watching. So I just want to see where you're from and let us know so that we can have some fun with you as well. And so Andrea, we're talking about, you talked about embracing our strength and doing one thing at a time and taking like these baby steps. Has there ever been a time, and I don't know, Andre, make sure you keep me honest with the time. Has there ever been a time where you felt something was too big to make a change?
You mean for me personally?
For you personally.
No, I actually,
Okay, time to dance. Andre, keep me honest with the time. Okay, let me hear from you guys from Facebook Live, and thank you for joining us.
407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where we always learn and grow with one another. I am your host, Lillian McDermott, and you can hear us worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We're talking today about a new year, a new truth, and a new you. And as I said at the beginning of the segment, that in order for you to become what you want to become, first, you must get rid of the cocoon. The butterfly, you can become a butterfly, but that butterfly has to come out of that cocoon. You can't no longer stay in there. So we're talking with Andrea Beaman, and later we're going to have Bellis of Liberty HealthShare join us to talk about how they embrace this new year, this new truth, and this new you. And so with that in mind, I ask you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. Please subscribe, become a subscriber, because when you do that, you get a bunch of free gifts. You get my weekly blog as well as the audio of the show. But while you're there, start clicking on to all the different buttons for social media, follow and like me there. And then also you can click onto the YouTube video where you can get the on and off the air conversations. When you subscribe, the YouTube video will be sent to you if you choose that, if that's what you'd like. So there's so many different ways to be connected. If you love podcasts, I'm in most podcasts: iTunes, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher. Just look for Lillian McDermott or Lillian McDermott Radio Show, and you can find me there. There's so many different ways to be connected. Now, the one thing that I ask while you are playing around and learning this new truth on the show with the wonderful teachers that we've had is that you check out my sponsors. There's a sponsorship button. Liberty HealthShare is a featured sponsor, and you click onto that to learn, because they have supported the show. My sponsors are making sure you have free life coach, free classroom to learning about spirit, mind, and body. And so because of them, this show is on the air. So I ask that you check out my sponsors and figure out different ways that you can support them the way they are supporting you. So today, and also, if you want to talk to me about what is your New Year awareness, if you want to text me at 407-373-5959, that's 407-373-5959. What is it that you want to achieve this year? Not as a resolution, but as a commitment. And so, Andrea, we talked about, changing, focusing on our strengths. We talked about taking one step at a time. So what else is it that you would say would be a good way to embrace this new year, this new truth, and a new you?
Well, to honor themselves, right? Every step of the way. So a lot of times people will look at their day and they'll say, you know what, I didn't do my walk, or I didn't exercise, or I didn't, right? They get into that negative mindset of all the stuff that they haven't done. So then they feel like a failure. So the desire and the motivation to do something good for themselves is like gone. So instead, look at your day. Did you make your bed this morning? Did you brush your teeth? Right? What are the things that you did accomplish? Did you drink a glass of water? Right? So if you start to fill yourself up, yeah, I did do this stuff, even if it was, and we may think, it's such little tiny things, right? But the little things add up so that they lift the person up, and then the person's like, yes, I can do this. So you just asked me during the break, is there anything that you think that you couldn't do? And I really think that I can do anything. And part of that is because I'm constantly honoring myself. Great, you're great at this, you did that. And not in a narcissistic way, but in a, here I am having this human experience. I want to make it the best thing possible. So in order for me to do that, I honor myself every day. Thank you for life, right? Honor myself in this big experience. And it could be the little things and it could be the big things, but I feel like I can do it. And I think that when people start to look at themselves a little bit differently, they're like, I can totally do that no matter what it is.
But here's the thing, and I love how you shared your perspective, and I hope that as we're listening to you, that there's other people that say, if Andrea can do it, I can do it too. So here's what was my shift, is when we know that God is everywhere. And whether you call God, whatever that higher source, that higher power is for you, that's what I'm talking about. And if that is everywhere, if God is everywhere, God is also in me. And if I have a speck of the Creator who created me in my body, what can't I do? I can do all things, which is what you're talking about. I can do all things. Now, provided, if I want to be a brain surgeon, I'm telling you right now, don't trust me there. I do. But if I wanted to be a brain surgeon, and I had the training to be a brain surgeon, I'd be one heck of a brain surgeon. But that's not my passion. We need to be in tune with what we are purposed to do in this life. And with talking about purpose, I want to bring in Bellis, because I know that this man has so much purpose. He is the founder and chairman of Liberty HealthShare, one of our main sponsors for the Lillian McDermott Radio Show. And it's always a delight to have him on. And I love hearing your insight, and I love a male perspective. Thank you, Dale, for joining us this morning.
Well, what a pleasure to be here, and I'm grateful for the chance to join in on the conversation. It's so meaningful to me because, Andrea, I made a life change in 2012. It was early morning on an April morning in 2012. I looked in the mirror and said, nobody's going to change your life except you. Literally, I looked myself in the eye. I threw away my cigars. I went on a low-carb diet. I began to exercise. My blood sugars dropped to pre-diabetic ranges because they before were out of control. I lost 50 pounds. It became a life-transforming moment and lifestyle difference. And so I'm curious about your perspective about those kinds of epiphanies that occur in people's lives that bring about transformation. But I know apart from the fact that I had a deep resolution in my own heart and spirit to be different, I had around me a support system that fed positivity and encouragement and attaboys all along the way. I couldn't have done it without that. So I'm kind of curious about your perspective.
Well, I love that you took accountability, right? You took responsibility and accountability. You said, no one's going to do this except for me, right? So this is, you are tapping into your internal strength that we all have. If you had the ability to come here onto the planet and be created as a human being, you have an amazing amount of strength inside you that most people don't even tap into. So you looked in the mirror and you said, I'm taking responsibility. I'm going to change. And you did it. So there was that connection to this inner self, right? That spark that is you, Dale. And that we all have access to it at some point. It just takes that one thing that flips the switch for us. That one thing, I'm not going to do this other life anymore. I'm going this way. Okay? I'm going to care for myself. I'm going to take it. You did all of that. And the proof is in the pudding, so to speak.
Yeah, he's the picture of health. And, with Liberty HealthShare, you have taken that. And every time you share that story, Dale, because when you first shared it on the show, I was speechless because I thought, you're the picture of health. But you came from sickness. And as you were the chairman and founder of Liberty HealthShare, you weren't living the truth you wanted to bring into this world. And you made that change. You said, I am going to align myself with the intention that I'm creating, which is people that are like-minded. And when you say that that you want these people around you with attaboys and giving you support and affirmations and all that, that's what Liberty HealthShare does. Let's talk a little bit about Liberty HealthShare before we go on the break, Dale, and what Liberty HealthShare is about.
Well, that life change that I just described was really the genesis when I launched Liberty HealthShare of our Health Track program. I just wanted to see others experience the same kind of positive life change in areas where our behavior and our health and wellness habits impact those diseases. High blood pressure, heart disease, certainly type 2 diabetes, cholesterol, obesity, smoking. And so we created a program where folks could voluntarily participate, give them a health coach, reach those goals, and enjoy those successes. And we celebrate about 400 to 600 graduates from Health Track every month.
400 to 600 graduates.
Yes.
So for those of you who are tuning in for the first time and you've never heard of Liberty HealthShare, you can go to libertyhealthshare.org or you can call after the show 855-58-LIBERTY. That's 855-585-4237. So Liberty HealthShare is an alternative to insurance. And it's where you truly make a decision to take your health back and be the owner of how you practice health care. And that's what I love about Liberty HealthShare and why I am so grateful that they are a sponsor of the Lillian McDermott radio show. That is libertyhealthshare.org. That's O-R-G. And it's 855-58-LIBERTY. And Dale, we're going to continue our conversation with Dale and Andrea Beaman when we return worldwide and at Lillian's radio show on Facebook Live. And so let's continue the conversation off the air when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. It blows me away, Dale. Every time you tell the story that you used to smoke, that you were 50 pounds overweight, and all of that, I look at you today, a handsome man. You have done it well. So good job.
Well, thank you for that. One of those attaboys.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Attaboy, Dale.
Yes.
That means a great deal. And it's just a matter of fulfillment for me to have had thousands of individuals join our health track program and experience that same kind of life change.
Yes.
And it's fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's empowering for your people, you know?
Well,
like,
for sure. Absolutely
Yes,
it is.
yes.
they no longer feel like victims. Now they have this empowerment. You know, I can care for myself. I can feel better.
I've got to tell you this quick story about it. Last year, we had 1,605 people join Liberty HealthShare with an indication of the need to lose weight. We have very relaxed, frankly, height and weight standards, but even on that basis, it was indicative of the fact they needed to lose weight in order to improve their health profile. We assigned them a health coach. They joined Health Track. It's an additional $80 a month, but
And it's still affordable. Yeah.
Yes, and they get the positive reinforcement, guidance, and accountability from their health coach. And as a group, they lost over 32,000 pounds.
Wow.
I mean, that's 16 tons that was shed.
Yes,
couple
that's
of-
amazing.
That's astonishing. I mean, it's
Yes.
just amazing.
That's a couple elephants, right? How many?
Well, I want to say that Gary said that in the book QBQ.
Which book is that?
I don't know. You may have to be a little bit more. John G. Miller says, you can only change you. And he was paraphrasing a little bit. So thank you so much, Gary, for sharing that, or Dee Dee. I don't know which one's on right now watching. And Andrea, so thank you so much for joining us. And Andrea, so what happens is with mine, it cuts off after a certain people, so I can't see beyond that, but I've already mentioned the people that were before that. But I want to encourage you to share where you're from and what is your commitment today. Is there a commitment that you feel that you want to embrace? Now, it's always funny, and Andre, make sure you keep me honest. Let me know when we're going back on the air for the last segment. It always amazes me as a life coach. I am always told that people that want to change the world, and they're frustrated because they want to change the world, and I get that. But the only thing that we really need to do, the first step in changing the world, is changing yourself. Because when you change yourself, you change your perspective, everything changes around you because your perspective now has changed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, what Gary D was referencing is question behind the question, and it's about personal accountability. That's. I guess that's the book. I haven't read it, but I'll put it on the list. The 2019 list of inspiring.
Okay, let's reach out to them. If you're listening, let's reach out to John G. Miller. Okay, that's a great quote. So here we go. Oh, Illinois. Thank you so much, Gary. Or Dee Dee. I don't know which one. Is it Gary? Gary. Gary is watching. He's 50% of men watch the show.
Here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we're having conversations on the air as well as off the air at Lillian's Radio Show. So you can find us on Facebook Live, sharing the wonderful topic of the new year, a new truth, and a new you. 2019. So this is talking with health coach and chef and author Andrea Beaman, as well as the founder and chairman of Liberty HealthShare. Now, Liberty HealthShare, you can find Liberty HealthShare at libertyhealthshare.org. Andrea Beaman, of course, you can find her at andreabeaman.com. But with Liberty HealthShare, so I can be a little bit more specific because I am a member of Liberty HealthShare. I walked away from insurance about almost 3 years ago. So I've been a member at Liberty HealthShare, where I feel so confident and in control. I feel like I finally have freedom of choice and to choose where I want to go. And it's affordable and it's Affordable Care exempt, Affordable Care Act exempt, and it's a $1 million per incident. So it's not like you're just stepping out on your own. Like Dale said before we went on the break before, is that you have this community of support. And Dale, good job for creating that. That's you and what you want for yourself, and you've been able to create it. Again, you want to change the world, change yourself, and the world will change with you. So share a little bit about your vision for Liberty HealthShare for as people are listening and making decisions for their health this year.
Well, one of my observations about our healthcare system in America is that it has breeded largely a sense of entitlement that says, I pay my premium, and so this third-party payer then is obligated to take care of me.
Yeah.
And so I give over, I cede to someone else, a bureaucrat who intervenes on my behalf and makes decisions about my health.
Sure.
That's problematic in terms of not only our own autonomy and choices and decisions as an individual, but as a nation. We have given up the control of our healthcare to another through that third-party payment system. Mm-hmm. And it was my vision to give folks an opportunity to regain and reclaim control and management and the care of their individual health, because that's what it's about. It's not about the cost of an insurance plan. It's rather, how do I succeed in caring for my health and accessing that care and having it paid for whenever it goes beyond my individual means to take care of it. And so we're here as a like-minded community, paying each other's medical bills for those things that are unexpected and unaffordable, so that we have the freedom to reclaim both with great freedom comes responsibility.
Yes.
So both the responsibility and the management of the care of my health, and that's what we enable and give freedom and power and authorization to our members. Go take care of your health.
Absolutely. And for those of you who are like-minded to the people on the show, I love the fact that they embrace holistic health. So if I want to go to a chiropractor, if I want to go to someone that is more like, I wanted to do thermography, there's so many different ways that they support my lifestyle. Now, if you are all about allopathic medicine and that's what you want, Liberty HealthShare is there for you too. So it worked well for me as well. It works for everybody. And so, and how have you guys made it so affordable, Dale?
Well, it is member engaged and empowered and participated. So, for instance, the point that you just made regarding holistic and alternative medicine, we submitted that question to our members 2 years ago. Overwhelmingly, they said, yes, that should be a part of our sharing program so that the medical costs associated with the care of our health should include naturopathic medicine. That way, when it's our dollars at stake, it's our pockets and the pockets of our fellow members when we share those costs, it changes the mentality and attitude of consumption. No longer am I thinking about someone taking care of me. I'm really being responsible as a consumer at that counter because it's really my money. We look for those areas where we can save dollars and get the same treatment at the most advisable price because it's our money. That's the major driving difference between healthcare sharing and third-party payment systems.
Absolutely. And so for those of you who are going, this sounds too good to be true, it's not. It's real. I've put my reputation behind it as well, because I really, truly believe that we should have this choice. All of us should have this choice. And so I am so committed to it. And I'm so grateful that Liberty HealthShare is so like-minded with the Lillian McDermott radio show that they have become a sponsor that I absolutely am very, very proud of. It's 855-58-LIBERTY. That's 855-585-4237. go to whenyouneedafriend.com. You can click onto the icon if it's too much information. Whenyouneedafriend.com, they're a featured sponsor, and you can click on there and start saving your life, saving your dollars. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can save. So Dale, as you walk into the show, you never know what you're going to walk into on the Lillian McDermott radio show. So personal responsibility is so key. And Andrea had talked about different things that we can do. But at that moment that it happened to you, was it an easy change where you looked in the mirror and said, if anything's going to change in your life, you're going to have to do it, not relying on anybody else to do it? At that moment, was it difficult? How did you set yourself up for success so that you can be this beautiful man that you are today?
Well, my particular experience was I was just sick and tired of being both sick and tired. Mm-hmm. I had low energy. I was in pain. I just felt sluggish and unmotivated. And I realized, particularly because I'm a type 2 diabetic, that if I didn't make a change, it would have such detrimental impact. Within a year, 3 years of that particular time, I'd either be blind or an amputee or dead. And I had to come to grips with that reality. Yeah. And when I did, I said, I don't want to stay here. I can make this change and do it with my motivation and purpose and intent. And that's really was the driver for me. I was just sick and tired of being both sick and tired.
I'm glad that you were, because of it, we all benefit for that. So as we are, when you changed your lifestyle, most people don't know that if they change the way they eat, the way they think, the way they act, the way they feel, all those things change. And it's just like you want to change the world, change yourself, and everything just falls into place. What was the first step that you took, Dale, in your commitment? It wasn't a resolution. It was more of a commitment that you made for yourself, because we know the resolutions don't really work. So at that commitment, what was the first thing you did after that?
First thing I did, seriously, I said that day, I'm no longer going to smoke my cigars. I was smoking 8 to 10 cigars a day. I literally threw them away and didn't smoke again following that. The second was, I said, I have to lose weight. I began to pay attention to my diet and the foods I was putting in my body. And the third was, I realized I had to start moving again. Yes. And began to exercise, eventually transitioned to CrossFit, which is really intense.
Whoa, no wonder you're Mr. Muscles. Oh, we're going to have to continue talking about that off the air. Well, our time is close to the end here.
That was my experience.
Well, this is a great experience. I would love to see that. I would love to see pictures of you at the gym. So Andrea, thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm so grateful to you. Again, that's AndreaBeaman.com. And so thank you so much, Andrea. Happy New Year to you.
You too.
And Del Bellis, always a barrel of energy. I can't imagine being lethargic a day in your life. And that goes to show you that we can choose what we want for ourselves. Let's not accept that you have to be sick and tired to get older. You can thrive, you can be vital. And this is how we do it together. Let's continue to grow together. Please remember, I'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com, on Facebook Live, at Lillian's Radio Show. And this is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day.
Best day ever.
Yay. Good job. Good job. Dale, this is really good. So are you still doing CrossFit?
No, I've transitioned away. I walk and jog and do that 4 to 5 times a week. And so I've kind of eased out of that much more intense CrossFit training. But I enjoyed it while it lasted.
It has to be sustainable.
Yes, it has to be sustainable. And so I'm enjoying my exercise routine now. But you've got to choose what fits you and just get active.
I like that. I like that. Any final words, Dale, before you go? Because I know that you go from one interview to the next because you are so popular.
Well, let's just all commit. And I think your point is well taken for me as well. It's a lifestyle commitment. It's not about a diet. It's not about a New Year's resolution. It's about really making deep commitments to be in charge of and responsible for the care of our bodies. That's really what's at the core of that.
I love it, Dale. I love it. And thank you so much for being on the show and for always coming on and giving your, not only the perspective of Liberty HealthShare, but also a man's perspective who has made some incredible changes and loves to surround themselves and get affirmations from and give affirmations to the people that you love the most. And so thank you so much for being vulnerable to share that as well on the show. It's a great combination, and I'm always thrilled to see you.
My delight and pleasure. Thank you. God bless.
You. Bye.
Take
care.
Bye-bye.
So as we continue our conversation real quick, because I know, Andrea, you've got to go as well, but is there anything, because we didn't really tap into a whole food plant-based diet that we promote here on the show. And so let's talk a little bit about that and some of the other things that you may want to talk. Dale talked about walking.
Yeah, walking is great. If people could just transition from the junk and the crap onto more wholesome foods, right? Just that one shift, they may see remarkable changes.
Yes, absolutely. Anything else that you'd like to add, Andrea?
Well, I love that Dale talked about walking. You know, our body does need a variety of different types of exercise: stretching, walking, running, weight training. And if you're doing one thing over and over and over and over again, it can actually damage the body. So like people that just only do yoga, right? They find 30 years later, my body's completely out of alignment. I don't have this isn't working, right? So there has to be a nice variety. And, just try something new this year, 2019, try something new. That's it.
Yes. I had a neighbor, and I'll share the story off the air. And thank you so much for all of you joining us today. And Gary is from Illinois. I'm just really excited. Did I read that correctly? Earlier, yeah. I think I read it correctly. So a neighbor of mine, she was in her 70s, and God bless her, she stays very, very young. And so she made a resolution that she would do something new every day. And after like 30 days, or maybe it was like maybe 2 months, she texted me and she said, I need to stop this. And I said, why? She goes, because I just peed in the sink.
Well, that's new.
I never peed in the sink before, but I'm going to pee in the sink. I just thought that was so funny. We've got to be, it has to be sustainable, and we have to be able to make some adjustments to what we thought. Like maybe CrossFit supported us when we first started. Maybe raw vegan supported me when I started changing my lifestyle. But then after 3 years, it didn't support me anymore. We have to be bendable and flexible to be able to say, you know what? I need to reassess what I truly want. And right now, this is not supporting me. Could you add anything about that?
Yeah, we have to listen. So people will get stuck in a mindset of, like you gave the raw vegan example, right? They'll get stuck because in the beginning that helped them. And then they're like, well, this is the only thing that can help me, right? Yeah. This is the way, this is this way or the highway. And not even listening to what their own physical body is saying.
Correct.
So again, tapping in, right, to that internal place that knows everything that you need to know, has all the strength that you have. Tap into that place and say, what do I need now?
What do I need now? And I think that could be, yesterday I talked about being able to reset, the new year mentality, and being able to have that all year round. So yesterday's show, for those of you who would like to watch it, is on YouTube. You can also see it on Facebook as well as one of it. But what I want to challenge people is that when we go to a New Year's party, what's the number one thing that you hear? I don't know about you, Andrea, but for me, it's, I can't wait for this year to be over.
Oh, can you imagine?
What I mean, I know because
Yeah, it's terrible.
so it kind of like 2 years ago, I wrote an article and it's called The Radical New Year. And I took the acronym RADICAL and made it like a plan for, and it's, if you're interested in it, it's at whenyouneedafriend.com under About Lily and articles that I've written. It was in 2017. And basically, I loved this countdown, this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All of a sudden, it's a new year. Everything's changed. Nothing's changed. It's a second. We just went from 1 second to another second. And all of a sudden, everything is good. Everything is great. We feel relieved. Why? What's different? So what I, in the article in yesterday's show, what I talked about was I want people to be able to do that countdown every time they're frustrated, or every time things didn't work out the way they planned, or every time that they failed, or every time that, they want a do-over. And just do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy new moment. Done. Yeah. Let's make that commitment so that we can listen to the body. Listen to our body say, it's time to shift. So anything you'd like to add before we go?
I think we're good. I think this is going to be the best year ever.
It's going to be the best year ever. And for those of you who are watching, before we go off Facebook Live, or for those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for staying to the end of the show. Please like us, give us the thumbs up, share it with your friends. Help me grow the show, because there's not enough of these shows around. It's usually about gloom and doom and being married to your disease. And so even if you have a disease, how can you feel better within that, your reality? And so thank you so much for watching. Andrea, it's always a pleasure. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. You too, Lillian.
And
I'll see you again.
We'll see you soon. So I'm going to say goodbye to those of you on the live stream. So see ya. And now I will say goodbye to those of you on, let's stop the recording. There we go. That's how I do it.